Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mitesh Gala. Welcome to Rough Book, a learning companion. Hi all, today we are working on statistics. Today's time and age, it is called as digital age. And in this digital age, statistics is one of the most important weapon in order to understand the trend of the data. So basically, I'm talking about the digital age and I'm talking about statistics. Statistics is branched into three parts. Basically, it is just organizing the data in a proper format or in a proper tabulation manner, later on applying some statistical tests, and finally getting into the representation of it on the graphs. All right, so basically statistics, three major departments as I already told you. The first one tabulation, second one calculation, and the third one is graphical representation. So in this topic of your statistics, in the first exercise we are going to look into tabulation and three departments of tabulation. Now tabulation can happen in three ways. First, the data is given to you, and when the data is given to you, it is in the format of raw data. All right, then that data we try and convert it into tables. So the type of table that you can draw is called as ungrouped frequency distribution table or grouped frequency distribution table. So basically the first and the second is what we are going to focus on, that is raw data and ungrouped frequency table for the first exercise. And for the second exercise, we are going to work on graphical representation, how to represent it on the graph, which includes histogram and it also includes polygons. So once we begin, we will try and understand both of these. So come on, let's begin with exercise 18A, tabulation. So now that we know what statistics is, okay, let's begin recording the data in order to understand the trend of the data. So here we have statistics exercise 18A. You can see the data given over here in the raw data format. This is called as raw data format when all the data is just given at random. You are going to take this data, segregate it into different parts in order to understand the trend of the data. Why are we using statistics? Basically to understand the trend, what that data is talking to us, and then you can use that data or apply that data in different ways. So here question number 2 says that this is the data and create a frequency distribution table. Frequency means how many number of times a particular number is occurring. How frequently is it occurring, and therefore it is called how frequently, therefore it is called frequency, and therefore the table is called frequency distribution table. How is it distributed? How are the frequencies being distributed? Therefore it is called frequency distribution table. So this table will have three parts initially. Number one, class interval. Class interval means the classes in which you are trying to segregate. So basically the data can be in three formats written. One is raw data, second is grouped, and the third is ungrouped. Here this is a group data where you are grouping the data in order to understand the trend. Is that clear? So three parts. First part class interval, second part tally mark, and third part frequency. Frequency is the main thing what we are trying to look. Now what is this tally mark? So let's say you write the tally mark, and how do you use this tally mark? Now if I want to know how many numbers are between 1 and 10, I can't keep on counting or circling, okay, these are 1 to 10 like that. So there is a systematic method which we follow so that there are no mistakes, okay. So 8 lies in which class interval? Obviously the first one. So you write the first tally mark. So tally mark are bunches of 5, 4 standing lines and then 1 slant line making a bunch of 5. Alright, and then you start with another standing line, again another bunch of 5. So it becomes easy to count. Alright, so whenever I see a number in a particular class interval, I will put a standing line. So 17, how should you record? So take three numbers at a time, okay, 17, 33, 41 and put a dot. So 17, 33, 41, 41 obviously will lie here, okay, 47, 23, 20, 47, 23 and 20. So 20 obviously will lie in this one because here there is no 20 right now. So 20, 34, 9, 18. So 34, 9 and 18. Alright, so we reached here. 42, 14, 30. 42, 14 and 30. 19, 29, 11. 19. So now this is going to be a bunch of 5. So 19. Are you getting this? 29 is going to come here, and 11. So 11 back over here. So now another bunch I have started. Alright, 11 is where we reached. 36, 48, 40. 36, 48 and 40 back over here. 24, 22 and 2. 24, 22 also will lie here, so bunch of 5 and 2 will come right over here. 16, 21, 15. 16, 21, 15. 32, 47, 44. 32, bunch of 5. 47, 44, again bunch of 5 and 1 more. 33 and 1. 33 and 1. Once your tally mark is done, major part of the sum is over. Now you are going to write frequency. Frequency means how frequently the number has occurred, or what is the frequency between 1 and 10. So between 1 and 10, how frequently the numbers have occurred, that is what we call it as frequency. So in this case I can see frequency 4, 5 because it is a bunch of 5, easy to calculate, plus 3, 8, 5 and 1, 6, 5 and 1 again 6, 5 and 1 again 6. How will I know if my answer is correct? So you should always total this up, always. So 6 3s are 18, 18 plus 4, 22, plus 8, 30. And they clearly mentioned right in the beginning of the question, they're saying by obtained by 30 students. 30 students, so your data is for 30 students, you got 30. Alright, so at least some basic idea you will get that you have not left any child. There is a possibility you might have marked here instead of here, so your answers might differ. That possibility might be there, because of which you will lose marks obviously. So you need to be very careful while doing these type of sums, that whether you are doing it correct or whether you are doing it wrong. If you put in the wrong column, obviously your answers are going to be wrong. So you need to be very smart while picking up the answers over here. Is that clear everyone? Okay, great job. Let's go with the next question. I want you to look at question number 1 as well. Alright, so just looking at this, there is some data question over here in form of words. So two types of data, one is discrete, second is continuous. So when you can break the data in decimals, such data we call it as continuous. When you cannot break it in decimals, we call it as discrete. For example, how many children are there in your class? Can anyone answer in fractions or decimals? Children can't be in decimals, right? So therefore the data is discrete. But when you can break, then it becomes continuous. For example, what is your height? So you might say 5 feet or 2 inches or 4 feet, 7 inches. So now you can break in decimals, therefore it becomes continuous. Perfect. So the first one, number of children in your class. What is the answer? Perfect. Your answer is going to be discrete because you cannot write it in decimals. Distance traveled by car. This can be in decimals, therefore the answer becomes continuous. Size of shoes. Size of shoes can be in decimals. Alright, so you can write, but it is not available in the market, is a different story. But it can be in decimals. So we will consider right now as continuous. Time can put into decimals, nanoseconds and all that, and therefore it becomes continuous. And number of patients in a hospital, you can't write it in decimals, therefore it becomes perfect with discrete, right? We are going to do few sums from here, and then 18A, the second part is right over here. So I'm just showing it on the screen. In case if you don't have the textbook, take a screenshot, take a printout or whatever you want, and you can refer to it. Alright, let's go with the next one. I want you to try sum number 5. Now before we get into 5, the data is given to us like this. Now if you look at sum number 2, the data was 10 and then 11. It is this type of data is called non-continuous classes. Continuous would have been 10 and then 10. Alright, so usually when you do statistics, we write all the class intervals in continuous form. But here right now they wrote it in non-continuous form. We accepted it. That is also fine. But generally you got to make it into continuous form. So right now in question number 5 also they have given it in non-continuous form. So what to do with this non-continuous form? Let's understand. Find the actual lower limit and actual upper limit. What is the actual lower limit? What is the actual upper limit? Okay, so the first one is a class. We call it as a class. 10 to 19 is the class. The number at the start is called as lower limit, and number at the end is called as the upper limit for this class. So what will be the lower limit for this 30 to 39? 30. And upper limit 39. Is that clear? But now since they are not continuous, we will make them continuous. And when you make them continuous, then what happens? You have to write the actual lower limit and actual upper limit. One more concept, something called as class mark or middle value. Middle value is also called as class mark. Middle value. So 10 to 19, what will be the middle value? How will you calculate the middle value? So you add the 2 and divide by 2. Alright. Now whether you take this or you take the real classes, that is actual class limits, and then take the class mark, the answer is going to be the same. I'll tell you once again once we do that, so don't worry. Right now your target is to find actual lower limit, actual upper limit, and class mark or middle value. Now how to calculate all these three we need to understand. So there is something called as adjustment. So what do you mean by adjustment? Adjustment means you take the upper limit and the lower limit of two successive classes and subtract them. So 20 minus 19 and divide by 2. So I get 0.5. Write it as plus or minus 0.5. Once again, upper limit and the lower limit of two successive classes. So 20 and 19, because they are not continuous. You are trying to make these continuous so that it looks continuous throughout. So 19 and 20 we took, subtract and divide by 2. So half 0.5, write it as plus or minus 5, 0.5. Now all the lower limits you subtract by 0.5 and all the upper limits you add by 0.5. What will you then get is actual lower limit and upper limit. So in this case it is going to be 9.5, 19.5. We took 10, we subtracted, we took 19, we added. Clear? Easy? What happens is the magic. Here this will be 19.5, 29.5, 29.5, 39.5. We are just subtracting and adding. So 39.5, 49.5. Can you see this? Now the classes have become continuous. See 29, 29, 39, 39. They have become continuous. So when you want to make non-continuous class into a continuous class, you need to get adjustment. How to do adjustment? Take these two, subtract, divide by 2. Whatever answer you get, plus or minus 0.5 or plus or minus that number. Clear? Now, middle value, class mark, you add these two and divide by 2. Or you add these two, divide by 2. Answer is going to be the same in both the cases. Let's try. 10 plus 19, 29. Mental math, I am not writing all these. We are not small kids now. 10 to 19, 29. 29 divided by 2, 14.5. So let's write this. And let's try with this one. 9.5, 19.5. So shift your 0.5 here becomes 20. 20 plus 9 is 29, which was here also. Divide by 2, you still get 14.5. So middle value you can get it anyway. Either divide these two by 2 after adding or these two by 2 after adding. So whichever method, that's fine. But actual lower limit, upper limit, is that clear? So if they ask you what is the lower limit of this class, you will say 20, not 19.5. But if they ask you what is actual lower limit, then you will say 19.5. Clear in the head? Any doubts? Perfect. Let's go ahead. Can you get me the lower limit of this? I mean the middle value of this? 24.5. 34.5 and 44.5. Did anyone manage to get the same answers? How did I calculate it so fast? Because I am a cheater. What did I do? I knew 14 and all these are of the same range. So I knew the next one is 24, 34, 44. Check. If I add these two, so this will be 30 plus 19, 49. 49 ka half is 24.5. Clear? So you got to be little smart also at times, but sometimes smartness can kill if these numbers are not in the same order. Okay, I will tell you when we reach a question of that time. Exactly same sum is sum number 6. I want everyone to pause the video right now and try solving this sum on your own. So actual lower limit, actual upper limit, and class mark. So first the adjustment, you need to show this adjustment possibly so teacher knows how did you get it. So 2.1 minus 2.0 divided by 2. Why is the camera on? Stop. Come on, start on your own. So 0.1 divided by 2. So when I divide, be very careful while dividing this. People write this as 0.5. 0.1 divided by 2, they write it as 0.5. Even you must have written, no? It should be 0.5. So it is going to be plus or minus 0.5. So 0.5 subtracted from this. Be very careful while doing this. So 1.05 and adding over here 2.05. Likewise 2.05, 3.05, 3.05 and 4.05. Adding these two, so I will get 2 plus 1. Why to do this? Let's do this. This is easy. 2 plus 1, 3. 3.1 ka half. How much? 15.5. Kitna aega next? Cheating. 25. Oh, 15.5 I wrote. What should it be? It's wrong, huh? It's wrong. Sorry. 2 plus 1, 3.1. 3.1 ka half. 1.55. See, I wrote wrong decimals here. 1.55 is the mid value. Likewise 2.55, 3.55. How many got all this correct? Great job. Let's go with the next one. Don't look at this homework and get very happy about it that, oh, the chapter is over or sir is stopping here. No, I am going ahead. I don't have place on the last page, so I wrote it here, which I'll show it to you later. Relax, relax. We just started right now. Hardly 14 minutes on the screen. Come on. 8 part 2. CI and frequency. What does the question say? Construct a cumulative frequency. What do you mean by this cumulative frequency? Cumulative means total. Cumulative, total. Okay. Why do you make cumulative frequency? I will tell you at the end of this sum. First, let's see how to calculate cumulative frequency. It is called as CF. So you take the first one as 12, then say 12 plus 18. Add this with this. So how much does that become? 30. Then 30 plus, come on, go ahead. See, the pattern is like this. So this comes here, 12 plus 18 goes there, and then 30 plus 23 will come here. So plus 23, 53. Then 53 plus 15, 68, and 68 plus 10, so 78. How will you check whether your CFs are correct? So you should take a total here. Alright. If the total matches with this number, that means you are alright. So let's check. 10, 18, 1 carry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 78. Yes, it is correct. So no problem. Now what is the meaning of this cumulative frequency? So if my question is, let's say these are marks obtained by children and these are number of students. Alright. So how many students got between 1 and 10? If that is my question. How many students scored between 1 and 10? Your answer will be 12. How many students, come on quick, how many students scored between 31 and 40? 15 or 68? 15, because that is between that. How many scored between 21 and 30? 23. How many scored less than 10? Now I want to know how many people have not scored well. So my questions has changed. How many scored less than 10? So answer will be 12. How many scored less than 20? Matlab this also have scored less than 20. This also have scored less than 20. So I'll have to take these two and add. So my answer will be 30. How many scored less than 40? Now don't waste your time adding this. Directly say this number. Because this number is actually a total of all this over here. So less than 40, 68 people have scored. Are you getting it? Why we are doing? This is called less than cumulative frequency. Why less than? Because you are starting from top. And my questions also were how many have scored less than 20, less than 30, less than 40. There are other ways more than. Right now we are not getting into more than. Don't worry, not in your syllabus. Less than is what if you understood, that is more than enough. So from frequency, did you understand how to go to cumulative frequency? Basically you keep on adding. This plus this comes here. And not this plus this, but this plus this. Many times I have seen children adding these two and writing it here. Wrong. The zigzag pattern should be in your mind. So if the pattern is known, you will never go wrong. Clear? I want you to try sum number 12, which is exactly reverse of this. You have to use some brains. I want you to pause the video. Try on your own. Even if you take 10 minutes, I don't care. Come back with the correct solution without copying, using your own brains. I am 100% confident you will be able to do it. Frequency is given? No. CF is given? Yeah. Somewhere frequencies are given, somewhere cumulative frequencies are given. You know the process, how it works. So let's make the pattern first. So we know how to work it out. In the exam, you can definitely do this. No one can stop you. So this comes here. That means what will come here? 15. Common sense. 15 plus this comes here. 15 plus this comes here. So how will I get this? So obviously I'll subtract these two. Correct? So 28 minus 15 will give me 13. Perfect. Now 28 plus 21 will come here. So 20, 40, 49. And then 49 plus 16 will come here. So 49, 59, 65. And then 65 plus something will come here. So plus what will give me 73. So again I will subtract these two. So 73 will give me 8. and then 73 plus 12 will come here, 70, 85. If you draw the zigzag pattern, it will be very simple for you to understand. But if you don't draw it, it will be very tough to understand and you will confuse, you will mess up. Is this clear, 12th one? Did you enjoy this one? How quickly we finished this? Because now logic is building, pattern is building in the head. We are not learning mathematics, we are experiencing mathematics. Okay, let's go with the next question. I want everyone to try sum number 7. I forgot to ask, how many got the 12th one correct without coming over here and whatever time you took? Pat on your back, guys, and girls as well. Sum number 7, let's read this. This says a list of questions and the data is given over here. Cumulative class interval and frequency. So the first part of the question is use the table to find these answers. Now can you see the problem over here? The problem is they are not continuous. Good, you identified it. They are not continuous. Do you need to make them continuous? Not now. Did they ask you to? No, they didn't ask. So you don't need to do that. So what you need to do is, in your mind, you need to think and answer these. Okay. So actual class limit of 4th class. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your 4th class. What will be the actual class limit? So first let's find the adjustments. So adjustment. First two classes you can take 35 minus 34 divided by 2. So 1 by 2, 0.5, that is plus or minus 0.5. So actual class limit of the 4th class. So that will be 44.5 because you are subtracting, and this will be 49.5 because you are adding. Clear everyone? Easy, simple. Now are you with me? Great. Class boundary. I forgot to talk about class boundary to you all. Boundary means the range that is available. Okay, so class boundary of 6th class, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. Boundary means the starting and the ending. The same thing basically. The same thing. Different name, class boundary. So what will be the 6th class ka class boundary? 54.5 to 59.5. That means any number which lies between this, we are going to record here. Okay, that is why we call it as class boundary. Class mark, you already know what is class mark, middle value of the third. Do you need to go to actual? No, you can if you want to, but from here also you will get the answer straight away. So third class 40, 44, total becomes 84, 84 ka half. So you can write if you want 40 plus 44 divided by 2, or directly also if you write, people will consider. So 84 ka half, 42 should be your answer. Upper limit of 5th class, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Upper limit is this. How many of you mentioned 54.5? That's wrong. Because did they say actual? They just said upper limit. They never said actual. So upper will be 54 only. If they use the word actual, then you will write 54.5. Lower limit of 5th class, 50. They didn't say actual, so we stick to this one only. And last one, size of the 3rd class, 1, 2, 3. This is your 3rd class. So what is the size of this class? Size means how big is the class. So 40 to 44. So 41, 42, 43, 44. 4. So you should write it as 4. But if you write that, you will get it wrong. Why? Because you have not considered the actual classes. Actual classes will tell you the boundaries. Alright. So what will be the actual class? That will be 39.5. to 44.5. Now count the size. So you can say the size. Count 39.5, don't count that. 40.5, 41, 42, 43, 44.5. So what is the class now? 5. So that's your size. Did you understand this? Simple? Great. Let's go with the next one. I want everyone to try 9 part 2. Now they have given you cumulative frequency and they want you to get frequency out of this. This is exactly reverse. See, in the previous one, what did we do? We had frequency, we got cumulative. Now they are giving you cumulative, you get frequency. Ulta jane ko bol raha hai. So now how to go ulta? Pause, try. You should always try on your own, guys. If you do it, you will experience maths, you will enjoy. But if you just copy, wait for my instructions, you will never enjoy, okay? So let's try. So the question says 9 part. Construct a frequency distribution table. So frequency distribution table. Frequency distribution table में 2 part होना चाहिए. Class interval and frequency. Class interval is there. You need to get the frequency. So how will you get frequency? So I will give you a simple pattern or a technique. Subtract these two. matlab 30 minus 18 should come here. 46 minus 30, this one will be 73 minus 46, and likewise the first one will be 18 because this is 18 only, nothing to do. The next one onwards start subtracting and keep coming down. Clear? So 30 minus 18 will give you 12, 46 minus 30 will give you 16, 73 minus 46, I don't know how much, 50 plus 23, 27. Is it correct? Let's count. 13, 4, 5, 6 and 1, 7. Correct. 73, 90. कितना हो जाएगा? 27 again. 2 times 27. Let me check. 7 plus 3, 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. If you want to know if your answer is correct or no, add all this. It should sum up to 90. Let's see. 8 plus 2, 10. 10, 16, 23, 30. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. I got 100. Here this is 90. Some mistake we've done for sure. So 18. This was 12. This is wrong, I think. 20, 30. No, correct. Then 30 minus 46 is 16. Correct. 4, 50, 60, 70, 23, 27. Correct. This is going to be 73, 80. 80 plus 20. This is going to be 17. See, we messed up. Now it becomes 90. So it is always advisable to check your answer. I am not deleting this so you come to know what mistakes I have done, so you also don't do the same mistakes. So how many got this correct? So the pattern is known now. So if you want to go from frequency to cumulative frequency, that's the pattern. If you want to come from cumulative frequency to frequency, that's the pattern. If you use this pattern technique, you will never go wrong in life. Next question, sum number 11. Again, can you identify what is this? Is this frequency or is this cumulative frequency? So if you look at the trend, frequency can go up or can come down, but cumulative frequency will always go up. It will never come down. See, and tell me what is this now? This is cumulative frequency. The question says construct a cumulative frequency table. No, construct a frequency table from cumulative frequency table. So you need first class interval and then you need is frequency. So पहले class interval 0 to 4, 4 to 7, 7 to 10, 10 to 13 and 13 to 16. Was this simple? We just took these numbers 4 to 7, 7 to 10, 10 to 13 and so on. Frequency, use this pattern which we just developed. Come on, pause the video, get these answers and attempt these two answers also and only then come back. So the first one is 0. 0 minus 85 will be 85. 85 minus 40, so should be 55, I guess, is it? Yeah, let's add and check. 10, 13, 14, correct. Now these two. So if I subtract, I should get 103 and here I will get 57. If you want to check, add this. So 7 plus 3, 10, 20. So 2, 8, 10, 15, 20. So 2, 300, correct? So my answer is correct. So we created the frequency distribution table. Now the answer, number of students in age group 10 to 13. So 10 to 13 is here. How many students are there? 103 students. Please write the word students. Many teachers are very particular about this, writing the units. Okay. Age group with least number of students. So you will tell 0. Don't take 0. Go for the least number rather than a 0. So which is the least number? I can see 55. So that is 7 to 10. 7 to 10 age group is what you can write. So this age group has the least number of people. Don't go for 0. Although 0 is the least, but still we will ignore this because there is no one in that category. Okay. Are we clear with this? Yeah. Did I help you to understand the entire topic? Exercise A at least. Yeah. Next time we meet, we are going to hit exercise B. Homework time, guys. So for your homework, you're going to do 18A 3, 4, 8 part 1, 9 part 1, 10 and 13. This is what I want you to do for homework. I hope you are enjoying the videos. How many of you are enjoying the videos? Acha, you are coming to enjoy. Good. How many of you are experiencing maths for the first time now? Write it in the comment section so I will know what is your reaction about the videos. Hope you had a lovely mathematics experience with the Rough Book, our learning companion.